Good morning viewers, Contrast here and welcome to another flight sim video. Today a little bit of a different, unique one. We're going to take the very retro, slightly controversial CSS 737-500 in this beautiful Aer Lingus EasyJet mashup livery.
Wow! Beautiful!
From Dublin, which is surprisingly sunny today, down to Barcelona in the south of Spain. Fingers crossed. We've done a few test flights in this CSS 737. We've had a few niggly issues, but we're in an Aer Lingus, luck of the Irish on our side. Hopefully we will get there in one go and in one piece. So why don't you join me over in the flight deck? Okay, cool. So here we are in the CSS 737. Let's get those batteries switched on. Start aligning the IRSs. We have got ground power. Here we go. On the emergency lights. Is there anything else that I should do right now before we get our clearance? Let's have a look. No, I think we're all good, so let's jump on over to the EFB. We're going to add our flight plan for today. There it is. And then hopefully, if everything's working, if we go over to ground ops and load. Yeah, there we go. It's pulled the information through. So 132 passengers, 3.3 tons of cargo, 9.2 tons of fuel. Let's just do instant boarding because that gets everything on board and I don't have to worry too much about things not working. One thing I have to remember to do in this aircraft is turn up the brightness on my displays, otherwise I'm not going to be able to see anything. So let's turn on the panel brightness. Do these floodlights do anything? Oh, zooming in. No. Right, down here. This is one, I think. And this twisty one is another one. Look at that, now we can see. I think in the cabin behind me I can hear they've turned on the lovely boarding music. Fuel's on board now, so let's turn on the passenger signs, let's turn on the fuel pumps. Pretty sure we've got fuel in the centre tank today. Yes, we have. Let's turn on the heats to go away GSX. And the hydraulic pumps, the yaw damper, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to turn that on again. Oh, galley power, let's turn that on as well, so they've got some power back there. I tell a lie, no fuel in the centre pumps, so let's turn those off as well. Right, I think it is time for us to get our clearance from Dublin ground.
Shamrock 562, ready for IFR clearance to El Prat.
Shamrock 562, Dublin delivery, expect runway 28 right, PZ 2 Juliet departure. Squawk 3350.
Okay, so we've got our clearance now. Let's get ready to pop the squawk into our radios here. So that's 3350. Curse of the sausage fingers strikes again. .350, lovely stuff. Let's just double check the overhead that I'm not missing anything that we should be doing by now. No, I don't think so. Right, I think it's ready to start the boarding. Okay, great, so we've started the boarding process now, so I'm going to head over to the overhead and get the APU up and running. Ready for when we can disconnect the ground power, and let's have a look and start programming the FMS. So we're going to put in our IRS position. We are flying from EIDW to LEBL, which is Barcelona. Put that in the company route. LEBL in the destination. I thought that was going to pull it through for me, but apparently not. Activate. Okay, that looks like that may have worked. Program in the departure, which is runway 28 right by the passage to Juliet. Cool. Initialization page, cost index 20. Oh, we've still got LEBL down there. Saying lots of oops. 25. Reserves, we have got about 3 tons. 0 fuel weight. I thought it might have been clever and pulled it through for me, but it doesn't. 46.5 in the 0 fuel weight. Gross weight at 55.5. Our cruising altitude today of 33,000 feet. That in the box. Takeoff page. Local temperature here in Dublin is a brisk 9 degrees Celsius. Okay, and that is our pre-flight complete. There's our lovely passengers making their way out to the aircraft, so join me again once we're all boarded and getting ready for push and start.
A few moments later.
Okay, cool, so that is boarding completed. So let's shut these doors. Switch on over to the APU. Right, that's them, both them running. Ground power off. Blimey, slam those doors. Want to turn the beacon light on. We want to turn our APU bleed on, so we're ready to start the engines. That's everything from up here. Select to both. Perfect. We've got a Ryanair on its way heading out. While the boarding was going on, I've just set the barrows and the autopilot system to sort of be ready for us to get out of here. GPU is disconnecting, so once the frequency is clear, we'll get some clearance for push and start.
Shamrock 562, Dublin ground. Pushback approved. Face northwest.
Okay, so let's release those parking brakes. Go up onto the overhead and let's try to start engine number 1. There we go, N2 is alive, lovely stuff.
It's alive! It's alive!
Goes the fuel. And we're going to start engine number 2 now.
American 723 Heavy, Dublin ground. Pushback approved. Face southwest.
So same thing, we're going to look for about 15 on the N2.
Start approved. Face southwest. American 723.
There it is. Pop the fuel in. Great stuff, pushback completed, so let's try and set the fiddliest parking brake in the world. There we go. I feel like I'd figured the knack of this out on the PMDG, but in the CSS, for some reason, Boeing parking brakes, just can't cope with them. Both engines are stabilised now, so we can look to switch off the APU, turn off the bleed, turn the packs on, APU off, taxi lights on, everything up there is looking good to go. Let's get the flight directors on.
American 723 Heavy. Request taxi.
Great stuff, it looks like it's making sense. We've got a big heavy American aircraft making their way out with us, so we might see them on their departure. If not, we're not going to be far behind them. Let's just wait for GSX to finish doing what they're doing, and we will get the taxi underway. Okay, so we've had our wave, and it's lights out, and away we go. Bit of a long taxi out to runway 28 right here, but we're going to get a nice view of the terminal building and all those other aircraft parked up here in Dublin today. It's so nice when the sun's shining in the sim. You know, being from the UK, I know you can fly anywhere and everywhere, but I tend to base a lot of my flights either starting from or leaving the UK or within the UK or especially around Europe. And I don't know, guys, if you've never been to the UK in 70% of the year, it just looks like this. Just great. So it's so refreshing to see the lovely Irish capital with the sun shining. We're going to head out to hopefully a very sunny Spain as well. Just lots of sunshine. You know, just really good move. Oh wow, listen to that, you can hear that. Can't really tell what it is, to be honest, from here. 777, 737, A300, 787. Let's take off roll. Off he goes. Well, I hope he has a lovely flight. Here we are, runway 28 right, ready for departure. Let's just get in touch with ATC and see if we can get some clearance.
Shamrock 562, holding short, runway 28 right.
Give the cabin a little bing bong.
Shamrock 562, Dublin Tower, runway 28 right, cleared for takeoff.
Runway 28 right, cleared for takeoff. Shamrock 562.
Okay guys, here we go, let's pop a bit of power in. Right, we go up to Toga. I don't know what I meant to do with the auto switch. It's, see, sometimes wants to come on, sometimes it doesn't. Let's just go for beats. Don't worry about it in a second. Checked. Oh wow, all that faffing around, we might actually run out of runway here. Rotates. Oh my goodness, please.
Dublin departure. Shamrock 562, 900 feet.
Geez, you'd think we were flying a
Shamrock 562, Dublin departure. Identified. Flight level 160.
Oh my goodness.
562.
Autopilot, please. Oh, I'm just a soft air boss boy now. Can't cope with these things. The pressure of recording YouTube videos, flying an aeroplane, miscalculating everything. It's just too much. There we go though. All worth it for that. Look at those beautiful green fields. The lovely Emerald Isles of Ireland. Until next time. Okay everyone, so we've just got our clearance for the approach, so let's get it programmed into the FMC, shall we? We're going to be coming into ILS runway 24 right via the Puma 2 Whiskey arrival with the CLE 2 Whiskey transition. So that's all in here now, lovely stuff. Go into the approach, get the ILS references, so it's 109.5, which is there. Pop that in the other one, this is to program the ILS, and of course a 244. Perfect, so that's all programmed now, and we just sit back, relax, and get ready for the descent into Barcelona. Okay, so we're passing through 10,000 feet. Let's turn on the landing lights. Let's turn on the auto brake. We've got the spoilers are armed. Well, speed brakes are armed, I think. Yep. Speed brakes are armed. Let's continue the approach in. Nearly there now.
Shamrock 562, descend to 4,000 feet.
It's a shame we can't just hop straight to Tebla now and nip in on the ILS, because it's dead ahead of us. We're spot on the glide, but I think it's a little bit busy coming into Barcelona, so I reckon we're going to have to backtrack and come back around again.
Shamrock 562, then right, heading 100, descend to 2,300 feet. Reduce speed to 00 knots.
Okay, so here we go, guys. What did we get cleared to? 2,300. And they want us to slow all the way down to 200 knots. I've already punched that in. I'm hoping they're going to give us more of a right turn in a minute, because we're definitely not going to intercept anything at this rate. We're actually heading away from the airfield.
A few moments later.
Shamrock 562, clear direct VL423. Resume on navigation.
Well, that was weird. Oh, hello?
Shamrock 562, resume normal speed.
Resume
That was
normal
really
speed.
odd.
Shamrock 562.
I now need to try and get back to where we're supposed to be. Resume normal airspeed, I'll just bring it up to 220 because we're still quite a way away from the airfield.
Minimum approach speed. Southwind 9 Tango Papa.
Not sure how our how we managed to blast through our altitude constraint there. I don't want to accuse the aircraft, because let's be honest, it was probably user error. But there we go, speed up a bit, climb back up to 230, blimey, nearly ended up in the sea there. Oh, what are we doing? What on earth is going on here? Okay, I'm going to take over. Right, manage speed.
I have no idea what I'm doing, but I know I'm doing it really, really well.
Autopilot is on. Let's just put on heading selector. We're going to try and intercept the localizer. See what happens. Right, so there's the altitude alert. Is it going to hold the altitude for us in a second? It looks like it's trying to. Okay, perfect. We've captured the localizer now. We're still way too far away for the glide. It's weird though, because it's stabilised our approach, but we've told it to do it 2,300 feet. We're at 2,420 feet for some reason. And the airport is all the way off in the distance. So far away it's not even loaded in. Right, well let's let this run. I can kind of see Barcelona sort of popping into view in the distance and join me a little bit closer to the runway.
Shamrock 562, minimum approach speed.
Minimum approach speed. Shamrock
Okay, so there's
562.
obviously still quite a lot of... Oh my goodness.
Oh my god! Wow!
Still quite a lot of traffic coming in.
For Bravo uniform.
What was my minimum approach speed?
Resume on navigation.
134, so we're going to go all the way back to 134 now.
We'll head direct BL 423, then resume own navigation. Easy 9, full Bravo uniform. Thanks.
Can't see anything ahead of us on the TCAS, so I'm not sure what they're worried about. Slowing us down if there's stuff behind us doesn't really make much sense, but we move.
How do you do, fellow kids?
Okay, 10 miles to run. I know we're a little bit early, but we're going to drop the gear as well as we're all the way down here at minimum approach speed, and hopefully that will stop that awful siren. Couldn't work out why we weren't capturing the glide slope there, but there we go. Glide slope captured. Runway dead ahead of us. Happy days.
Shamrock 562, wind 180 degrees, 5 knots, Rango to 4 right, clear to land.
Right, okay guys, let's lock in for this landing, because this aircraft does have a bit of a history of trying to absolutely murder me. I think speed brakes are armed, I think. Yep, speed brakes are armed. I'm going to try and leave the ILS in for as long as possible, because as you can see the aircraft is now starting to wibble and wobble all over the place. Barcelona, it's one of my favourite cities to visit in real life, and really really cool to visit in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. Just look at that.
$1,000.
1,000 feet, checked. I mean, we're looking a little bit low, right? Let's risk it for a biscuit. We're taking out all the autos, auto throttle, autopilot. I have control of the plane. For some reason, I'm not sure if it's a bug, but when you disconnect the autopilot in this thing, the trim wheels just suddenly go mental, so I apologise for the noise in advance. Way too high on the pappies, but there's something about this plane, it just frightens me. Maybe that's how you should feel flying an airliner. So used to sort of how easy and smooth your Airbuses are, the A320, the A350, and even the modern 737s. 737-500 definitely feels like it wants me to die. Oh my goodness, what a stutter. Not now.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Come on, what is this float? Get down. Oh, and a little bounce as well, but do you know what, I'll take that because we've got a long old rollout here. Reverses are green, I hope. Hopefully the plane's going to start slowing down. Oh my goodness. There we go. At 60 knots.
Shamrock 562 exit next available taxiway.
Exit next available taxiway. Shamrock 562.
Who would have thought a plane so small would need so much runway to take off and to land? Right. Happy days. Let's start the APU. Oh. Clicking every direction but the right one. Perfect. Let's get off this runway because I think there's quite a lot of traffic coming in behind us.
Barcelona Tower, 224 right, clear to land. Runway 24 right, cleared to land. Easy 94 Bravo uniform.
Okay guys, so there we have it. Our first successful flight in the CSS 737-500 on the channel. And probably only my second or third successful landing in the thing because I have struggled to get flights going from point A to point B. It's not to say I don't love the plane, it's definitely a little bit rough around the edges. There's some work to do before I think it's, you know, gonna be a great add-on, but I think, you know, the potential is there. The potential is definitely there. They had a little bit of a rocky launch and start with the product, and I can understand why people were annoyed with it. Personally, I really enjoy the maybe it's the wrong word. I'm more than happy with the subscription model that they use for this. I basically paid about £3 to have access to the aircraft for 30 days. Have I experienced a ton of problems with it? Yes. Have they always been very quick and helpful fixing problems? Yes. Have half the problems actually been user error? Probably. Oh, look at that. Only took 3 tries to get the parking brake on here at the stand. But, with that being said, there's just something about this kind of, these retro airliners that I just love. You know, especially this one, it reminds me of the old school FS 2004 days, the 737 in that. Of these sort of old style dials and things, not big screens everywhere. But yeah, here we are, parked at the stand now. I love the jetways here at Barcelona, so cool with their sort of glass and the crisscrossy patterns. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. And let me know if there's anywhere else you'd like to see me fly, any routes, any aircrafts, any specific airlines, and I will do my best to sort of try and accommodate those requests. And until next time, happy flying guys. See you later. Bye bye.